hope the NYTT to just tell us about some of the glitches that we've experienced and how we've dealt with them, so that we're able to take questions from all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
On the issue of preparations for the conference, I'm sure you're all aware that we had 3 months to prepare for a conference. We convened all our PGMs to elect delegates and nominate candidates for this conference. We dealt with all disputes and all issues that were faced by paralysis of our structures, including paralysis of PGMs and many other issues. We've resolved them by the 15th of June. And some of the issues that we're dealing with now, we prepared for them. Unlike in the past, we organized what we call pre-registrations in provinces. It's only 2 provinces that we have not convened pre-registrations, which is the Eastern Cape and KZN. Because of our limited resources, we're using a limited staff to organize that. That's why you see some of the delays on the registration, because we had to do also pre-registration for Eastern Cape, KZN, at the same time deal with the issue of the collection of tax, and that's what caused the delays. On the issue of disruptions, it's few individuals from a region called Krisane. It's not an ANC Youth League ill-discipline thing. The ANC Youth League is a 79-year-old organization. It is not going to tolerate any ill-discipline, because the moment the 79-year-old organization tolerates disciplines, it will cease to exist. The Youth League will act on those that are seen coming to our stations to disrupt the reservations, rank. We'll follow up even where do they get the resources to do all of these things and be booked in hotels to come and disrupt an historic moment of the African National Congress. Now, those areas will deal with them, but I can tell you now we're almost done. KZN and Eastern Cape are currently finalizing the collection of their accreditations. By 9 p.m. we'll be starting with our program. Our program will have an opening. After the opening, we'll have the political report by the acting convener, Comrade Fasia. Then after that, we'll have adoption of credentials. We'll have the adoption of the rules of conference. Then we'll have the announcement of nominations and the openness of nomination of officials, the president, the deputy president, the SG, the DSG. And before that, we'll have what we call an amendment of the constitution. Then we'll have also the appointment of the elections of the TG. Now, all of these things will be done today as a program. The closed sessions of organizational report and financial reports and some of the commissions will be done tomorrow. Because we've lost a lot of time today, we'll try our level best to cover those areas. Thanks.
Thanks very much, comrades. So let's see if there are any hands. Yes, and I see only 3 hands. This is going to be a very short media briefing and quite befitting for the weather, I would say. This lady from EWN, if you can please introduce yourself. Do you want a mic? Oh, okay.
There's rumors about delegates, some 200 delegates or delegates in the Eastern Cape who were left out of the vetting process. Just want to understand what was the updates around some of those sticky issues, thinking about Vemba. And then just for the NYTT members, there's this weird back and forth around the autonomy of the league. Have you, with your mother body members, sat down and understood why is it the conference is being done the way that it is? Why is it that some feel that there's excessive intrusion, so to say? Thank you.
Sam Keller from the SABC. My question is directed to the ANC NEC member, Mzwandile Masina. The president has been cleared of any wrongdoing when it comes to the Phala shenanigans. What is the ANC's posture on this particular view, or you as an NEC member, after the release of the final report by the acting public protector, Kollega Galega? Used to be a very critic of the president when it comes to the issues of Phala. Have your views changed since this release of this final report? And to Colin Malaji, is this not an indictment on the leadership of you and Ngola of the Youth League, knowing that the start of this conference has effectively now been delayed from 8 in the morning. It is now 7:15. You've not yet opened this conference. Is it an indictment on the youth leadership that the ANC has, that you are incapable of running the affairs of the Youth League? Thank you.
Thanks, Samkel. If this was Parliament, I was going to call for a point of order on your first question. Because I don't want to deny you the opportunity to be answered, but I hope you'll also be sensitive to the fact that we don't want to derail the briefing from what it's about. But we'll see from the audience if they can answer. It might not be the comprehensive answer that you want as well. Let's go. When someone's wearing a mask like that, you always wonder if they are fine, Dave. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Ntebo. I'm with the SABC. My name is Ntebo. I'm with the SABC. Mr. Masina, you said around 2,079, I think, delegates are here, or branches are here. Yes, 2,079 branches are here. I just want to know, out of how many branches, this 2,079? And if there are any branch or any branches that are left out, don't you see that it would be fit, after 8 years, the ANC Youth League not having any congress, and if indeed you want to rebuild this youth structure, don't you think it would have been fit for everyone to be participating in this conference as opposed to having just a limited number of branches, and you say, as long as you could master that 75% of the branches for you to hold the conference? Don't you think everyone should have been here in the spirit of rebuilding this youth structure? And secondly, how is this NEC members, how are they helping or assisting the ANC Youth League to rebuild? Because, I mean, some allegations have been thrown around that some of you are interfering a lot because you want to see a particular outcome of this conference. And ultimately, looking at the 2027 national conference, that maybe this youth structure will sort of assist you to be either in the top officials or in the NEC again. That's it.
Okay, I think I'm just going to take all the heads there, if you would allow me. And I hope this side were finished, right? There's still a hand. Okay, let's just do, I think there's three. Let's start with you.
Good evening, top table and colleagues this side. My name is Mawande. I'm with the Sunday Times. Oh, Sunday World. Oh, sorry. Okay, Sunday Times is my former employer, guys. Mistakes do happen. Yeah, I'm with the Sunday World. Sunday World. Sunday World. For starters, if we were to go back to the meeting, the marathon meeting of last night, when I did a column, can you confirm that the audit report was abandoned without an agreement on what it says is the branches that are constituted here? And that with that abandonment, there was an agreement that there will be a meeting of the NYTT today, which I understand has not happened, at least if the information I've gotten from some NYTT members who are not here is anything to go by. Two, was the threshold that is met, the 70% threshold, calculated based on that disagreed upon audit report, or is there a new audit report with different numbers from the one that we were told of yesterday? Three, can you confirm that the stalemate of the marathon meeting was so bad such that at some point the SG, in an attempt to try to get things to go forward, said comrades must not push the card of trying to collapse conference because they will be looked upon in that they can be deployed to parliament? Four, Since you are here now speaking on behalf of the NYTT, do you have a full mandate from the NYTT members as a whole? Are they here? If they are not here, on whose behalf are you speaking at this point in time? I'll rest my questions there for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Kgothatso Madisa from the Sunday Times. But
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I think Mawande covered most of the questions because we wanted to just find out if you standing or sitting here rather, you are confident to tell us that one, you have reached the 70% threshold because we are told you are not, you have not, and that the audit report was not adopted. So who are these people that we're registering today? And are they likely to restart registering because there's a meeting, we are told, of the NYTT later today? And then the former or the ex-convener of the NYTT, Xola Nqola, made some serious allegations in his letter to the top 7 today, yesterday rather, where he paints a grim picture rather of manipulation, interference, among other allegations. I'm sure you have seen the letter. We've written about it ourselves. Do you have any comment on that? And is there credence to the allegations that he makes? I mean, he says, there are delegates that were removed from, participating, and they were replaced with people that don't necessarily exist. And he says, the audit reports were also fraudulently edited. They were marred by bullying and threats, of members and structures of the youth league. I mean, when you look at these allegations that he makes, are you confident to say that this conference will be properly constituted and will have the dignity and, I forget the term that politicians use, basically will it stand the test of time? Thank you.
Lisa Gatandwa, Mail and Guardian. I'll just add to Kgothatso's questions around Xola Nqola, but also around the Eastern Cape. Have you had any discussions as the NYTT around the Eastern Cape? Is it a legitimate leadership or is it not? What was the decision that was taken? Xola Nqola, as removal as convener. If I could get Julia and Colin to speak on that as part of the NYTT, their feelings as the NYTT around that. I was sent, and I'm sure a number of us journalists were sent videos of what seemed like papers of branch audits as early as last night. Can we get clarity on whether there's an investigation in terms of that? And in terms of the tags that we received today, which have a government emblem, can anyone discuss with us whether government is participating in this conference? Thank you.
Oh, you mean this? Okay. All right, we'll deal with that. Can I give an indication of hands? Wait. Can I get an indication of hands? Other than you? Are there any other hands? Or is that the last hand?
Ziniko Mhlaba from Newsroom Africa. My question to the current leadership, the interim leadership. What's your view on how the governing party, the mother body and government has been dealing with the issues such as the public protector report, the allegations of some members of parliament being allegedly involved in some conspiracies, such as implicating the current public protector, the former public protector, suspended public protector Mkhwebane. So generally, how has the ANC been handling those matters from your perspective as the Youth League, specifically the issue of the current chair of 194 section and the issue of the Phala? So this conference, will it deal with those issues and how the party is handling those issues? But for now, what's your view on how the party has attended to those things? My second question, I think the issue of the Eastern Cape. How credible are the branches that are coming from that province in regards to representing that province here, considering that the over the weekend conference has been deemed null and void by the SG? Thirdly, the alleged interference of the SG in the business of the Youth League in preparation for this conference. Are you concerned? Do you agree with those that are alleging that he's been very, very involved and has crossed the line to some extent? So those are just my three questions. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with Comrade Swandile and then go to Colin and conclude like that.
No, thank you very much for all your questions. I think, CD, there are no regions left out. Everyone who's supposed to be here is here. The people from Vembe, those who are legitimately supposed to be here are here, are being registered. So is Tshwane. The fact that there might be small membership in Tshwane is a product of what would have happened. The second question around the autonomy, was saying to the Youth League of the ANC today, they will get their autonomy on Sunday. Because there were challenges in the Youth League that made the ANC to use certain provision in the constitution to take over the affairs of the Youth League, appoint to the point where we can hand over the autonomy of the Youth League as we rise from the conference. I think those are the issues. Samkelo, I have read the report of the public protector who has cleared the president of the ANC, that is Cyril Ramaphosa. We welcome the report, and I think the ANC will speak firmly on this, those who are authorized, but for now, I can say that it's much more clearer, because we have been saying in the ANC that it will be important that all the law enforcement agencies dealing with this matter, they must conclude their report so that going to the elections, we don't have clouds hanging over us. In the ANC, Samkelo, we don't have hangovers. We just agree and disagree at the point of conference. In December, we elected President Ramaphosa as the president. All of us accept him as our leader. So any other thing that you would have known prior to the conference doesn't exist at this point, because that's how the ANC work. And I don't think that in terms of the hiccups, we can say it's an indictment that people were here at 8, it's now 9. All of us who attend congresses of the organization, we know that there's always issues, and we deal with those issues. Comrade I said that 2,972 branches have qualified. We needed 2,229. So we've far surpassed that. So the conference will be sitting and deal with issues of the organization. There is about 17 NEC members who have been deployed to assist various aspects of the conference. None of us are interfering. Neither is our SG, Comrade Figile Mbalula, interfering, and all other comrades. So there is no interference here. The Youth League must elect themselves. They must elect members of the Youth League. None of us qualify, so we're not here, we're not available. Samke, we're not available. We leave it to the young ones to contest. But out of this, I think the ANC leadership, the ANC Youth League leadership will rise, and we believe that we should be able to deal with these issues. At any given time, when you've got responsibilities, people are going to accuse you for this or for that. At this point, there is no one who's interfering. That's why you've not seen members of the ANC being elected. You're seeing Youth League electing each other. whether the leadership has got preference is neither here nor there, because it is the Youth League. If you look at my tag, it says non-voting delegates. I am here to ensure that we execute the work as sent by the SG of the organization moving forward. At Mawande, I think Comrade Deputy Convener will touch on the issue of the report, but there was no audit report that was abandoned. That's one thing that I will say quite firmly. And there are no disagreement on the audit report. It's there. And if there's any issues, people must come inside the meeting, raise those issues, and all of them, they will be clarified in terms of how we're dealing with those issues. The statement that Comrade Kola was pushed out, I think that when he came in, we didn't have questions, why was he brought? So when it's time for him to go, there's question, oh, he's been pushed. How did he come in? So there would have been issues, and I think the SG in the letters, I don't want to very dwell that much. The one particular point I want to emphasize was Comrade Kola is the ANC member of parliament. He was asked to recuse himself in the task of the Youth League. By the way, he's in the same predicament like us. Even if he was here, he would not qualify in terms of biology to contest. So it's not like there's a privilege that has been removed from him. He has done his work, assisted the organization to where it is, and he continues to be our deployee. He has not been recalled in parliament or any other ANC structure that he's serving on. So to say that he has been pushed out, I think it's far-fetched. If there were differences, if you write lots of love letters, even send them to the media, that is ill-discipline. Because in the ANC, we must be able to address our internal challenges. The SG, on behalf of the organization, wrote to him. The decent thing for him, he would have, even if he was writing to the officials, was not to leak the letter to the media, because that would not really take us any far. Comrade Tatu, the 70% has been met, and we've clarified. I think that was the first point I started with, so that there is no doubt. Those who are spreading lies and rumors that the conference has not matched the threshold, we have evidence to that. And I think I've addressed the issue of Comrade Kola and the issue of the audit report. Comrade Lizega, the tags of government, I'm sure you know that in the organizational protocol, I would not really, because I was not at the registration, I don't know how you got those tags. But I know that the president, that's why you can see the security that the Youth League does not have that kind of sophistication. The president will be coming. Maybe they decided to accredit you, those people who are dealing with it. So I really would not spend time, because we're not responsible for the accreditation. But I don't think really getting a tag will make you suspicious, because if you don't have those tags and they disallow you, you'll say that we are impinging on the media freedom. I think really we are being petty, and we can find a way of dealing with this specific issue. Yes. I'm saying you have a tag, you have been accredited. All what you say, there's a government emblem. And I'm saying those who are dealing with accreditation should have had a reason to give you that specific tag. Now, I'm saying to you, the president of the country will be coming to address the conference. So I don't really think we can make an issue out of a tag. A tag is to allow you to be accredited, because if you are not accredited, if you are stopped, we will be hinging on your right as a journalist. So you are accredited to be here, and I'm really saying it in real jest, not that I am accusing you of anything. The colleagues from 405, the PP's report has been released. It has cleared the president, and if there is anybody or any person who has a problem, I think they must approach relevant authorities. At this point, we are dealing with the facts that is before us, which is the president has been cleared, and we're hoping that all other agencies who are seized with this matter will also submit their report, so that there is closure. Going to the 2024 elections, there should be no hangovers of pala and all those things as we're able to move forward. I think Comrade Colin will also answer on the Eastern Cape matter. And the last point I want to raise is that there is no interference. The SG is executing its responsibility to make sure that all structures of the organization are actually alive. So, as I said, 9 provinces for the first time are now in place of the ANC. The Youth League is the first. In the next week or two, the Women's League will be following. so as the Veterans League, so that all organs of the ANC are alive. So I really thought that we've dealt with the issues, and then I will allow Comrade Colin to touch on the issues that are specific, because you've raised quite pertinent issues with the Eastern Cape and so on and so on. He has made notes of those. If you are offended by saying petty, I apologize. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mzwadile Masina. The ANC Youth League is a membership-based organization. If you go to its constitution, it's open to members between the ages of 14 to 35. But you pay 10 rand to join. That's why we set up what we call an audit team. Now, the role of the audit team is to audit that those who have participated in what we call AGMs and BGMs are members in good standing as per the constitution. Now, in Tshwane, for example, when the independent audit team that we've placed in place to do audit of our branches in preparation for this conference, they've discovered that there is no membership submitted, or the membership is not 101 as per the requirement of the constitution to identify it as a branch in good standing. Now, when it gets there, you cannot be allowed to come to a conference if you don't have a branch in good standing. PGMs are convened in a branch in good standing of over 100 members. That is why some branches are not here. It's because they have not qualified as per the audit and the constitutional requirement. Now, that's why we have issues like Tshwane and other regions not being here. The Eastern Cape issue, same issue of audit. You can't convene a conference unsanctioned. Before you convene a conference, there must be an audit process. You must receive an audit report. After receiving an audit report, then the Secretary General, in our place, the coordinator, writes a letter to sanction a conference, that in this province there must be a conference set. Now, the reason is called bogus, because it's a conference that's set outside the requirement of the constitution to sit. Now, we can call each other's friends and enter a hall and say we are members of the Youth League, want to elect each other. But if we operate outside the constitution of the Youth League, then we're undermining the same structure that we're saying we're representing. Now, it's high level of ill-discipline to use the name of the Youth League, but undermine processes that leads you to that process. Now, that's where we are on the issue of Tshwane and the issue of the Eastern Cape. Now, the state of readiness, the 7% have been answered. I don't know how you calculate the 70%, but if you go to the constitution, because I want to request you to read the constitution of the ANC Youth League. If you go to the constitution, it says that branches of the ANC Youth League, then it further says 2/3 of delegates constitute quorum of Congress. I don't know if you understand that. Now, if you have launched 2,972 branches, there are 2/3 is 2,080 of delegates in conference. That is a quorum of conference. Now, it speaks about branches. Now, I know people were tempted to come in Googling wards, saying that in the country there's 4,000 something wards. Now, if these 4,000 something wards are not all launched, you can't have a youth league. That's what the ANC launches branches. Then we use that to constitute our own conferences. Now, that is where we are. And I can assure you that we have a very peaceful conference. And I want to emphasize that there is no organization that can exist for 79 years that allows ill-discipline. Now, if there's ill-discipline, the ANC Youth League will act on it. If there's ill-discipline, all organizations like the ANC will act on it, because if we stop acting on ill-discipline, we're going to cease to exist. We will not be where we are. We can't be 79 years of an organization of ill-disciplined people. We're going to act on those that are ill-disciplined. We have identified them. It's a small group of people from one region called Krisane. In a country of 53 regions, none of them had been disrupting. We're highly focused. They are really disciplined. Even when we're disrupting, the real delegates of the ANC Youth League remain disciplined, allowed the law enforcement authorities to take charge. Thank you.
We just want to say that we'll request members of the media, as we continue to work together, to at least assist us also on the decorum of the conference, because sometimes every conference has got friends of delegates, So when you go and interview them, when you go to the friends of delegates to interview, they will tell you their frustrations, which they could have resolved in their branches. Then they get a platform, they're on national TV saying things that they're not supposed to be saying. So we are saying, let's interview and deal with properly accredited delegates of conference so that we have a sense of what is going to be happening inside the conference. We request. So we are requesting that because it will help us a great deal to deal with people who are duly accredited to be at conference so that we have a proper mood of the conference. But I can tell you, other comrades can just move from Soweto. They say, then you depict it as a mood of the conference. The mood of the conference will be inside the conference itself, and we're confident that the work that has been done by the Youth League and the ANC deployed cadres to be here, it should really assist us to make sure that we've got a proper, duly constituted conference. I just wanted to emphasize that point. Thank you very much.
Thanks, comrade. Thanks, comrades, to all of you. I just wanted to also say, colleagues, this question also about wristbands, unless if you are satisfied now, I do think it's also a security issue. We will see if we can come back to it at some point and get the relevant persons to answer you. That's why you see here, none of us here, I think, carry a gun or even would know what to do if any of you were disruptive, because we don't have those sort of capacities. But the people who ultimately are responsible for our safety, amongst other things, would worry about things like how you get accredited. So we'll get that detail and come back to you on that one, just to conclude that question. But I don't know if there are any other questions. Okay, this is the very final round. So, there's elderly people that side first who raise their hand first. So, any other hands? If I've pointed you, this is it. 1, 2, Sunday World Sunday Times person. Lizeka. No hand aside. Tidi, you want to come? Wait. Let's start there. We'll come to you. Ima.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Merricks from Kasi Broadcasting Africa. We've been here for 2 days. And because some of us knows the history of the ANC Youth League, I just want to take two steps back. You know, the Sharp 17 conference all these years had that spirit of the youth, but we don't see that spirit. Is there maybe something where the youth are not feeling they can sing the revolutionary songs, where they can be youth? Because we're not feeling, because we know what the ANC Youth League is about, the spirit of the youth, but we don't, as media, we don't feel it. And we think, we're not saying people must be handled by remote, sing now, don't sing now. But we think the youth should have that spirit. Thank you.
Sunday world. Well, suffice to say, I want to re-emphasize, Colin, you didn't answer my questions. Maybe let me rephrase them to be more pointed. The one question you didn't answer, do you have a mandate from the NYTT as you sit there to speak on their behalf, and where did you draw it from, when? 2, I asked about the meeting of last night. Maybe to rephrase that question to be more pointed and direct. How did the meeting of last night conclude? And I went further to ask, was there an agreement that there will be a meeting today to pick up on issues that were a bone of contention last night, one of which I raised is the audit report? Can you please respond to those questions? And maybe lastly, can you say with absolute certainty that there is no room for litigation to nullify the outcome of this conference with all these things that are being said? I'm sorry that we sound like we're believing these things, but if we don't get clarification, we will be left with no choice but to believe the versions that are out there. Because I said these versions, I heard them from about 5 NYTT members, just as I was walking in here, that I was speaking to. So if I don't get a response, and that is the version that they gave me, I will be left with no choice but to believe that version as the correct version. Thanks.
Sure, thanks. You are not answered on the question of the audit.
No, I'm saying I asked it as it relates to the meeting of last night and how it concluded.
Lizzie, again from the Mail and Guardian, I know I'm dwelling on this tag situation, and I'm dwelling on it because the ANC has been accused of corruption. Your president has said that you are number one in terms of corruption. We're sitting at a point where the deputy president has questions around him on the people that he has surrounded himself with. For the ANC at this point to conflate matters and to have government tags in an ANC conference, and this is, for me, peculiar, given that I've been at ANC conferences before where the president has been involved, and I've never had a tag that is a government tag. For you not to know, JP, it's suspect to me. So I just want clarity on this.
Okay. So, Lizeka, you're not happy that we say we'll get security to explain it later? Won't that satisfy you sufficiently? You don't have a choice. Okay. If you give us that choice, then we'll all choose for you. Then we'll all have one choice. So I really don't want us to drag into that question any further. I think we've dealt with it for now. We're not saying it's closed. There was another hand this side. You see, Wakokasa, no? Don't coca. You're caucusing about the text. What would you? Please give her a microphone so she speaks.
Anyway, I just wanted to ask, the very people that you're going to ask about the text, can you ask them why is it that they haven't vetted everybody? I mean, yeah, I found no one there. Are you telling us that it's about the president, but there's no one making sure that the guard who's coming in. I just walked in. I don't have a tag. Do you get what I mean? Like the lack of consistency even in that.
Okay.
That's all.
So, yeah, but I want to go back to this one again. I really don't want us to venture into a security type of briefing at this point. We will come back to this question about anything you have that's security related. Right? We've noted the questions, but we will come to it. CD. Right? This is Fasia Hassan that I suppose many of you would know. I'm going to ask her to venture to deal with one or two of the questions, but you have to come this side for the mics. And then thereafter, we'll start again with Comrade Zwandile and go that row, and then we'll conclude today's briefing.
Thank you very much to Comrade JP. For those who may not know, my name is Fasia Hassan. I am the Deputy Convener of the ANC Youth League Task Team. And these are my comrades and colleagues. I know they've been holding down the fort quite well. I'm going to try and take a stab at the first question, for lack of a better proverb, about the spirit of conference, the spirit of young people. You're definitely going to experience it. You're definitely going to feel it. Obviously, we've had some delays and challenges with the registration. I think Comrade Colin will have spoken to that. And it really has been a process of moving our delegates from point A to point B. But where we were at the registration venue, and I spent quite some time there today, there was a lot of vibrancy, there was a lot of that kind of singing, that feeling. And in fact, I would argue that this upcoming conference, or the one that we're already in the process of, is going to be a really incredible experience. You're going to see. Young people are not going to allow anything but an elective process, so that we do ultimately walk out with leaders that we've chosen ourselves. So really, for me, it's a matter of time, but I think it is a good question. And then I think I'll come to you offline when it's already ongoing, and I think then we'll be able to agree. Comrade JP, let me hand over to colleagues. I don't want to take over questions that I think others may be better spaced to answer.
No, thank you very much. I think the question of vibrancy is a very legitimate question. When I went to collect my tag, I saw young people, they were fully charged, but it's a fair question to really ask, and I think that we are being promised that there's going to be, it's going to be a good Congress of the Youth League with all those historic moments. And I think the question of the tax, colleagues, as we say, will get proper information, but the easiest we could tell, we know when the state president come, we don't know what they do, how they create, but because it's a critical question, we are suspect, as you say. I think we'll need to get an official reason why. When we leave here, that's what we'll ask our team to do, so that we can give you a firm answer really to say, this is why they would have accredited you, like, so that we avoid speculation with regard to the tax, and then I think we'll deal with that issue. The issue of the audit report is a closed issue. The audit is done. It's done by independent people. The audit has been signed off. This is the basis in which we have a Congress now that is going to be resuming in the next hour or so. The issue of the tax is the same. Let's get you a proper, because we thought it's a minor issue really, but I could tell that you are serious about this issue. So let's get to facts. Yes, let's get to facts, and then the issue of the security that has been raised, we also note it. We will be able to raise it with the security personnel that is here, so that we can ensure that we have a proper... See, you can't tell us how to run our congresses. We'll make sure that everyone here is safe. We want to make sure that the welfare of the journalists and everyone is safe. And I think from here, colleagues, really more than anything, we would like to appreciate the kind of work that you've done and your patience. These processes are very slow as they start. The fact that you are still here with us, you are not in Durban, July, Samgele, we're very happy. We're very happy that you are here to witness the history as we rebuild the ANC Youth League. Over to you, Colin.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think the most important thing I must explain is that from the day of appointment, I was appointed as a deputy coordinator with the administrative responsibility to assist the convening of conference. When you call a media briefing and you say state of readiness, it's my responsibility to explain on the state of readiness. I think I've answered the question that I've been given that mandate from the day of appointment. Now, on the issue of meetings, whatever, collapse, those are stories I don't know. But in the youth league that I belong into, our internal meeting where there were no journalists, where there were no spies of journalists, we concluded, adopted all reports, and we are moving forward. Young people are singing outside here. On the issue of the autonomy, we are here today to fetch our autonomy. After this, we'll have our full executive powers, no babysitting. We'll be calling our own meetings, convening our own conferences, running the day-to-day work of the organization. Now we're ready. The mood has started outside. If you can go outside, you can hear the mood. Young people are here, united to elect their own leadership. Thank you.
Yeah, as they say, the mood is the mood of conference. I hope you will all embrace it. Okay. Oh, okay.
Sorry, there was just one question that we missed, I think, from Sunday Times on litigation. Look, we cannot assure you, we don't know what people do. When they sleep at night, they think, we can't assure you. But what we know is that when we are taken to court, we have done everything and anything possible internally to ensure that the Congress outcome will stand. That we can guarantee you. But if we live here saying that we don't know, no one can take us to court, we'll be lying to yourself. So anyone can go to court. What we know, when we are challenged and when we go to court, because of the internal systems that we have implemented, the Congress will be able to stand. That's what we are willing to put forward here as an assurance, other than to say, I've seen a letter from Vembe, others are planning a letter, others are sitting with lawyers, others are sitting with handlers to disturb the conference. Our responsibility is to make sure that the conference goes very well, and that's what we are going to assure. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, TD, thanks. I think we're at the end. This is not the so you want Julia to speak, no Maganja? Okay, Julia, let's hear.
I feel bullied actually, TD, but it's fine. No, because most of the questions were directed to specific people, like administration will be directed to Comrade Colin because he is deputy coordinator. Now, in issues of the ANC matters, it will be directed to Comrade Messina. Now, I would not have any jurisdiction, but if you would ask me about the mood of conference, then that's something I'll speak about how do we feel about everything. That's where I would step in. I think I would touch on the issue that how do we feel about Comrade Gola being removed. Of course, he's a cadre of the ANC, and it was a bit upsetting, but when we were appointed, we knew that anything can happen. So we had terms of references that we had to follow, and if you don't, there were consequences which we had to abide by. So conference, yes, we're excited. It's been long. Tax teams after tax teams, we have seen the vacuum of the Youth League. What has it done to the ANC? We are the backbone of the ANC. So we do want conference to sit. We need this conference as young people. And of course, we are excited, of course, TD. That is why you have delegates all over the country here to gain autonomy, because we need that voice as young people, because we saw some statements that young people cannot be part of politics, but politics are the guiding decisions around our lives. So we need to have a seat at our table. That is why we are here as the Youth League, so we can have a seat at the ANC table instead of being something on the menu discussed by elders. So this is why we're here today.
The conference has just arrived.
Okay. Yeah, I can actually, that's true. Eh? What's your preferred candidates? All right, colleagues, let's end today's session on that note. As you were informed, we'll have an opening session which will be open to the media, and then the rest of sessions will be closed, but we will be having regular media briefings throughout the day. You also would know Comrade Amos, who I'm sure is somewhere in here, in between these lights. Over there, the dark person in the dark corner, will also be assisting all of us just in notifying you every time when we are meeting. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.